All right, today we're going to talk about something that gets to the very heart of competitive card games. It's a moment every single player has seen, felt, and probably been totally confused by. We're diving deep into how pure skill can beat raw power and what it really takes to achieve mastery over the meta. I mean, have you ever been there? You've spent all this time and energy building the perfect meta deck. A real powerhouse, the one that's topping all the tournaments. And then you sit down and lose to a deck that, on paper, should have been obsolete years ago. Its cards have been totally power crept. It's frustrating, right? And it makes you wonder what's really going on. Because as it turns out, victory isn't just about the strength of the cardboard in your hand. There's a whole other level to this game, a strategic battlefield where the player, not the deck, is the most dangerous weapon. And this is where duelists become legends. To really get this, we've got to dive into what I like to call the power paradox. It's this central puzzle in any competitive game. How can a deck with objectively stronger cards lose to a deck with weaker ones? It's like the sharpest sword doesn't always win the duel, especially if the person holding it doesn't know how to use it. And the answer to this whole paradox, the one thing that changes everything, it's pilot skill. See, a deck's power level, that just sets its potential. It's the player, the pilot, whose skill decides how much of that potential actually gets unleashed in a match. Okay, so how do you actually get that skill? Well, the whole journey kicks off with something fundamental. You have to understand your deck's core identity. You can't pilot a machine if you don't even know what it was designed to do. First things first, you have to nail down your win condition. This is your North Star. It guides every single decision you make. Are you trying to go for a one-turn kill and just blow your opponent out of the water? Are you building a fortress of negates that they can't possibly break through? Or are you playing the long game, just slowly, methodically choking out their resources until they've got nothing left? Knowing this, really knowing this, is the bedrock of mastery. And most decks kind of fall into one of these big categories. You've got aggro, which is just an all-out blitz, trying to overwhelm with sheer force. Then there are combo decks, like Dragon Link, which are like these beautiful, intricate machines that chain effects together to build an insane board. And finally, you have control decks, like Sky Striker, that are all about dominating the field and controlling the entire pace of the duel. Figure out where your deck fits, and suddenly its purpose becomes crystal clear. All right, so once you know who your deck is, it's time to hit the lab. This is where we get into the nitty-gritty, the actual mechanics that separate the good players from the truly great ones. Now this is where things get really interesting, because this is how the pros see the game. They aren't just looking at their hand and what's on the field. No, they're tracking resources across all 6 of these zones. Your graveyard? That's not a trash heap. That's your second hand. The banished pile? That can be your third hand. Your main deck holds your future plays, and your extra deck is this toolbox full of perfect answers. Managing all 6 is how you outlast everyone. And a huge piece of that resource management is the combo. A really powerful combo, it's like a symphony. It takes just a few opening notes, a couple of cards in your hand, and weaves them into this incredible, game-winning board state. It creates something way more valuable than the sum of its parts. But, and this is a huge but, this leads to a classic mistake, the overextension trap. It's so tempting to just dump your whole hand onto the field to make the biggest, scariest board imaginable, but a master knows when to hold back. The optimal combo builds a board that's just strong enough to win, while, and this is crucial, keeping cards in hand to recover if something goes wrong. And that's the absolute key right there. See, mastery isn't about memorizing one combo you saw online. It's about understanding the entire decision tree. What's your plan B if your main starter gets shut down? What's your pivot? It's like having a mental flowchart for every situation, turning a rigid sequence into a flexible, adaptable strategy that can survive any. So you've mastered your own deck. You know it inside and out. Now it's time to level up. It's time to master your opponent. We're talking about the mental game, and believe me, this is where the real duel happens. Yeah, at the highest level, this game is straight up psychological warfare. It's about patience, holding that game-winning card until the absolute perfect moment. It's about timing, because a good card played at the wrong time is a wasted card. It's about controlling the tempo, the whole pace of the duel, and even bluffing, setting a fake out to bait your opponent into wasting their best stuff. And one of the biggest weapons in this mental game is the tech card. Now, these are cards that aren't part of your deck's main engine. They aren't the cards that make your strategy go. Instead, they're your silver bullets. You put them in your deck specifically to counter the big, popular strategies you know you're going to face.
And these are some perfect examples. Is everyone building these so-called unbreakable boards full of monster negates? Slap down a dark ruler no more and watch them panic. Keep losing the coin toss and have to go second? Evenly matched will wipe their board clean. Terrified of a hand trap wrecking your whole turn? Called by the Grave has got your back. Using these shows you're not just playing your deck, you're playing the entire room.
So when you put it all together, you've got your deck's identity down, you've mastered the mechanics, and you're playing mind games with your opponent, that's when you hit it, the final breakthrough. There's this moment, and every great player will tell you about it, where everything just clicks. You're not consciously thinking through every little step anymore. You start to just feel the flow of the game. You look at your opening hand and instantly see 3 different paths to victory. You can pivot your entire strategy on a dime because it's become second nature. And this is exactly how skill just completely erases a power cap. Think about it like this. A new player with a top-tier deck might only be using, say, 60% of its real power. But a master with a weaker, older deck, they can squeeze out 100% of its potential. And that 40% difference, that's the skill gap. And it's more than enough to win the game. And that right there, that is mastery. Your deck stops being just a pile of cards. It becomes an extension of your mind, of your strategic will. You're anticipating your opponent, you're controlling the duel, and you're executing your plays with flawless precision because you're already 3 turns ahead of them. So the next time you see some so-called weaker deck absolutely dismantle a meta giant, you'll know why. It wasn't just luck, it was mastery. The road is tough, for sure, but it starts with one simple choice: to go beyond just playing your cards and to start truly understanding them. The only question is, are you ready to start that journey?